All right, it looks like it's just about that time to get started here. So really quickly, just a few housekeeping tips. As you can see, your camera is off, your mic is muted, so you don't have to worry about, all of a sudden having your face up here. And then just so you know too, feel free to ask questions to us at any time. We'll be monitoring the Q&A during this webinar. So we can answer them on the spot, but we can also, you can save them for the end as well. And Sadie and I will be answering questions then too. So, all right, well, what we'll go ahead and do is, Sadie, if you want, we can start sharing our faces. And while we're doing that, starting our videos here, I also wanted to let everybody know that this will be recorded as well. So you'll receive an email with this webinar so you can share it with anyone else you think may have missed it. So hi, Sadie.
Lindsay, good to see you today.
Yeah, let's see. And for everyone out there, you have access to actually put our screen, our faces in gallery mode, which puts Sadie and I right next to each other. And I've noticed that actually works out pretty well. So if you want to go ahead and do that. So, well, hi everyone, my name is Lindsey Rogers. I'm MORTARR's community manager, and I also am a customer success manager here at MORTARR as well. And then today we're joined by Sadie Wuerflein. She's the customer success and insights director here at MORTARR. And I have some sad news. This will be Sadie's last webinar with us. So
yeah, yes, very sad news. I'm glad I got to jump on one more webinar before I'm done. But yeah, unfortunately, I'm taking a break from my business working life, and I'm going to spend my full time as a mom, which is, I think, scarier than any job I've had in the past. But excited to spend a little more time with my little ones and managing everything else that goes on in life.
Yeah, definitely. And I wonder, you should have your kids do like a biannual or an annual review of your work at home. That would be really funny.
Maybe let the dogs do that.
Oh, right. So, well, I just want to thank everyone for joining us today. As you know, you registered for a webinar about how to create a company profile. So, Sadie and I, we work, within that department, but we literally do this day in and day out. So we'll be able to provide all the tips and tricks to building a great profile and, to get as much visibility as you can on the site. So that's what we're here to do today. And then also, as a thank you for everybody attending, we'll be offering a 15-minute profile review with a customer success manager. So typically that is saved for a premium or enterprise MORTARR subscription. But for everybody attending today, we just want to say thank you and offer these up for free. More information about this will be included in the follow-up email, which, as you know, the recording will come as well. So just look out for that later today or tomorrow. And then I hope that you'll schedule one and send us over some requests for that. So great. What I do now is head over to mortar.com. I'm going to share my screen. So Sadie and I, let's stop sharing our faces here. Let me get my screen pulled up.
And we'll jump back on at the end, I suppose, for questions.
Yeah, let's do that.
Perfect.
We'll stop my video. Here we go. So is everyone able to see mortar.com here? All right. Well, actually, it's a webinar, so nobody can see. So Sadie, are you able to see it?
Yes, it was. Yep, it optimized now. It was kind of big, but now it looks normal.
It looks normal. Good. All right, so what we'll go ahead and we just want to show you truly how easy it is to create just a company profile here. So that always starts with a free, you can start here right on mortar.com. As you kind of scroll down a little bit, it gives you just a really quick option to go ahead and create this right here. So I'll go ahead, I'm just going to use a fake.
I'll just comment while Lindsay is doing this. So for purposes of today's webinar, we are creating a very beautiful but very fake company profile on MORTARR that just for the sake of showing you all the steps. So, oh, and Lindsay didn't meet the password requirements. So the great thing about MORTARR, like any other site, is it just lets you know what you need to do. So Lindsay's going to go through all of the steps of entering this information. And this first part that you can see as Lindsay goes in here is These are really the steps of starting just with a personal profile. So all of our company profiles also essentially have a personal profile attached to them. So Lindsay's putting in some company information here about herself. She could really stop at the point that she hits get started here, and then she'll have just one of those private individual profiles on Mortar. But then what we're going to do is essentially just upgrade that individual or that personal profile into our basic company profiles. So here we ask this of all of our users. We want to know, what industry do you work in? What's your role? And that just helps us make sure that we're curating the right content for you. We're sending you the right kind of messaging according to your position and where you fall in this whole commercial construction and design industry. So that's these first steps.
Yep, I'll go ahead and select Get Started now.
Okay.
And then, as Sadie said, the first step is creating just that personal profile with as much detail as you can tell us about yourself. And then you actually have the opportunity here to upgrade. So by doing that, it gives you all of the options available to you. So we have our basic profile, which is free, and lists out all of the options included with that. Obviously, we have our premium subscription as well, which is a paid subscription, and lists out pretty much the same as the basic free profile, but also shows you what you get in addition to that. And then lastly, we have our enterprise subscription, which costs a little bit more, but as you can see, comparing the three, you definitely get more included with this subscription as well.
Right.
So I'll go ahead and click the basic free profile. First question that comes up, are you a pro? As in, do you provide a service primarily to your customers, or are you a brand? As in, do you provide a product, or are you a manufacturer? But how do you provide, your products to your customer base? So as you may have seen from the previous screen, I did say that we're an interior design company. So I'm going to go ahead and select Pro because I provide a service, and then select Continue. And then I will start to just kind of fill in this information. So Sadie, while I'm doing that, if you have any tips you can provide.
I can always fill quiet space. Don't worry, Lindsay. So you can see on the right side of the screen, this is just some information about what's included with our basic company profile. So whether you're a pro or a brand, if you're signing up on this free basic tier, the biggest difference I would say between basics and premium, which is our first level of paid subscription, is that one, you're just kind of limited to the amount of content that you can put in your profile. So it's a great way to start in that, maybe you don't have a lot of finished photographs of your work. Then a basic profile is a great way to get started on Mortar. You can see it's limited to 3 project galleries, 5 photos per gallery. And then we'll show you all of these things as Lindsay's going through and actually building out or getting this profile started. With our premium subscription, you have unlimited project galleries and unlimited photos within those projects. So Mortar is essentially a digital marketing site. So the idea here is content. So very much like your own website. Most of you listening probably have your own beautiful websites that you've put a lot of effort into, and Mortar definitely doesn't eliminate the need for that. Instead, it really just complements it. So if you're at all familiar with the strategies behind digital marketing, you know that we want to be really focused on search engine optimization. So that's looking at all of that content, whether it's the words, the images, the links to content in other places. And we want to make sure it's just kind of all marrying together and ultimately tying back to you, to your company. So we'll show you as we go through and add this content, some of the ways that we're leveraging that. But again, with the basic profile, just limited to the amount of content. And then also, in addition to that, you also, our services under a premium subscription or an enterprise subscription include a dedicated customer success manager like Lindsay or somebody else from our CSM team. And they really do everything you see here today. Our CSM team does for our premium or our enterprise subscribers.
Yep, we do. So thank you for all that, Sadie. While I was kind of filling in all this information, I just wanted to touch on a couple things. I think pretty much most of our audience watching today, they already have their basic profile created, but I did just want to point out that all of the information I have filled in here in this first step You can edit at any time. This is just a great way to get a profile started quickly by filling this in now and then creating an account. But, you know, for instance, what it is that you do and the services you provide, you can select more than one at any time. And also too, this is the sectors in which you work. I just randomly selected a few right here, but you can add to this at any time as well. This is completely editable once you create your profile.
Perfect.
So I'll go ahead and create the account, which will bring us to a quick welcome screen because we're so excited to have any of our new subscribers here on the site. And then here you go. So this is what a blank profile looks like. Everything in here is customizable, in which, you know, here in this section is where you would add in a logo and a background image. And I had our great marketing team create something for me. So a quick second while I pull that up.
Of course, we should have a beautiful logo to go with our beautiful fake company.
Oh, sorry about that. Let me get this.
So, and as Lindsay's doing this, I'll just point out some of the people listening on the call today, like you said, a lot of you already have a basic profile, which is awesome. And I think we have, you know, all levels of basic profiles on our site, from, you know, some that did those first steps that Lindsay just completed to, and then kind of stopped there. Some who've already filled in things like the logo, the background image and whatnot. So what we're hoping that you get out of this webinar is whatever part appeals most to you. So if you haven't started at all, now you know the exact way to get that started. If you have started, but you haven't yet done some of these steps, hopefully this webinar can help you just with the right tips to go in and just add more content to that profile that you've got.
So pardon me as I go through and find my perfect background image.
Oh yeah, we can't see your searching, but
oh, good! I'm so glad. I'm actually really glad to hear that you can't see what I'm searching, because I have all of these other photos on from other subscribers here on my desktop. So here
you did just see, as you pulled up, once you get your image in there, you have the option to kind of move around this rectangular image, which is great for, you know, hero images, background images like this, but it does allow you to adjust where on the image that falls. So just a pretty simple tool. But yeah, one of the arts to setting up your profile is finding that right image. A lot of times you already have one or more being used on your website, so that's a great one to go to because it's really optimized for that size and shape. So.
Well, and I think a great point too to make about the background image is, you know, with that basic profile, you're limited to 3 projects consisting of 5 photos each. So I always recommend to any of the basic subscribers we have is take this opportunity to choose an image you don't already have within your projects to put as your background image, because now you're allowed to have that 16th photo if you really look at it that way. So I always recommend choosing one that you don't already have in your project. So just a little tip from a customer success manager to you.
It is a good tip. And just to further extend that as you go into the edit area here, is that you can, you'll want to make sure to choose, like I say, your most beautiful image, because this is what's going to show up as our users are browsing professionals or brands, companies within our site. So it's like their first impression of you. So.
Definitely. And I want to point out too, just really quick about this logo. I feel like we're taking quite a bit of time about how you how you put together just the beautiful parts of your profile. And I want to say that because you want to make sure that with your logo, you choose something that gives you just a little bit of space in the circle here. And we call that, I guess, in the creative world as padding. And the reason why I say that is because then you have the opportunity to really zoom in just a little bit so that your logo is placed within that circle. And obviously, if what I'm saying to you is completely foreign, take advantage of that 15-minute profile review, because we can talk in depth about, you know, what that really means and the best way to showcase your company on Mortar. So, and now I'm going to go into this quick edit profile mode. And as you know, I have.
I'm sorry, Lindsay. Can I pause you for 1 second? So I had a chat from one of our viewers asking if you could expand the browser window, and maybe he can write back and let us know if it helps if you've done that. I think the video is.
Oh yeah. Is it? I think it's expanded now.
Okay, So if he can chat back and let us know if that helps. Sorry to interrupt you.
Oh, that's okay. That's okay. So I just have a lot of information that I've kind of copied and pasted from other areas just to make this go a little bit quicker. So here's just a quick company description, just an about section. And Sadie, if you want to touch on the importance of, you know, just the information that you put in here, where you're getting it from.
Yep, absolutely. So generally what our team will do is we will try to copy and paste this about section from the information you already have on your website. And the reason for that is super intentional. We want to make sure, as I mentioned before, this is a focus on digital marketing. And so for SEO purposes and making sure that we are absolutely getting the most out of any SEO work that you're already doing, we want to make sure we're just super cohesive and consistent with the terminology and the wording that you're already using. So yep, that's just one of the many opportunities that you have on Mortar to tie that together. And all of this will actually just help organically boost your own website's SEO rankings. So good news for you and the work that you've already done on your existing website.
So, and I'm not going to fill in all of these social media links, but just so you know, this is where you have the ability to put any social page that you've created for your company in here. So I just quickly copied and pasted facebook.com with our Mortar profile, but just keep that in mind that the more visibility you have online, the more you're likely to be found, and Mortar wants to give a place for that within your profile. So make sure to copy and paste all of this information in here.
And really right above there, Lindsay, I do want to point out, you filled in, as I was talking, you filled in the actual website. That is one that actually gets overlooked occasionally by companies setting up the profile. So if you have your basic profile in Mortar, I really encourage you go in, edit your profile, and make sure that it is linking to your website. That's a really critical part. That backlinking over to your own website is just a really critical part of helping you with that. I hate to be like a broken record, but for SEO purposes, that is going to be huge.
Yeah, thank you for bringing that up too. And I also,
of course, it also allows our users, as they're browsing your profile, to get to your website. So when they want more information about you and what you do, what you offer, it would encourage them to pop over to your site as well.
Yep, definitely. So while Sadie was talking about that, I quickly copied and pasted in here areas of expertise. So anything you want somebody viewing your company profile on Mortar to know about you. Obviously, you put your website in there so they can easily toggle over to that. But here's where you'd want to say exactly what you do and what you provide. And, you know, honestly, the more information you can put in your profile, the better. So even if you've already described what you do a little bit here in your about section, I still recommend putting what it is that you do here in your areas of expertise. And you can see that the best format for that is, you know, for instance, you put, you know, maybe one thing that you provide, comma, the next thing that you provide. And you can see how we've kind of done that here in this copy and paste section.
Yep, exactly what I was going to say. Love the separation with commas, just keeping it to real short terms, highly searchable terms. And that's what you want to think of with that area, is what people might search.
Yep, and then I know I mentioned previously that you have the opportunity to edit the service you provide and also the sectors in which you work. And this is where you have the ability to do that. So at any time, if you're adding in a new project like bars and restaurants, come over to this edit profile section and select bars and restaurants. So that actually will show up as one of the sectors in which you work. So we'll go ahead and hit save changes so that we can take a look at kind of, you know, the final, what we've put together for the final part of your profile. So we haven't added in any projects yet, which we'll do that really quickly. But this is what everybody will see when they come to check out your profile here on Mortar and how they can learn more about you. And then, you know, this is the section with your social media links. So you just want to make sure that you put in as much information as you can here so that they can all actually populate.
Great.
All right, so now we will create, I'm just going to create one quick project.
And so as Lindsay does this, you can see she's typing in a title for the project. We're just, of course, fake company, fake project. So here again, this is another opportunity. If you already have projects listed on your website, you maybe have a gallery of featured projects on your site, or for those of you who might be manufacturers or brands, as we would call them, it might actually be your case studies and so on. those are essentially your project galleries on Mortar. So any of that content that you've already built out, feel free to copy and paste it here. And then you'll notice that you do have your rich text editors there. So a lot of our subscribers will include links within the project gallery descriptions. Maybe there you have other content on your site that you'd like to direct them to. Maybe you have a video or something of this particular project or product line that you're displaying. Feel free to link all of that within your project gallery description.
And then I went ahead and selected just a project location. And then here you have the opportunity to select, you know, what this project is that you're uploading. So we are going to be uploading an office. So I'll go ahead and select corporate office so that this is searchable here on the site. And then when it comes to maximizing your profile, one of the best things you can do is tag the partners that worked on this project with you. So for instance, I'm going to just pretend that DJR Architecture, they actually have a profile here on Mortar. I'm going to pretend that they actually were the architect on this project. Now, because they already have a profile, whether that be a free one or a paid one, we can select what the role is that they took on this project. They were the architect, so I can select that. We then have the opportunity to tag pretty much any company that you would like. So I'm going to do, let's just say Stahl. They are a general contractor. We'll go ahead and select them on here as well. And another great thing too is they don't need to have a profile on Mortar to be given credit for the work that they've done. So for an engineering company, I'm going to do ABC Engineering. You know, they provided some great service to this project. They don't have a profile here on Mortar. It's gray here, but I can still add them. And because they don't have a profile, that would be, you are unable to select the role that they played within that project, but you can actually invite them to claim this project here on Mortar.
Great, and I love that you did that, so we'll be able to show them, once we have this project gallery saved, what that looks like when you're tagging other companies, other professionals who worked on your project, whether or not they have a profile on Mortar.
Yep. And I did have to minimize my screen just quickly to add in these two photos I have.
We can still see it. Yep.
Oh, you can, good.
Oh, great.
So I was very easily able to copy or just take these images from a folder or from my desktop and truly just move them over into this section. You can upload up to 10 images at a time. You can clearly, well, since we're working on a free basic profile, you can only upload 5 images, but you can go ahead and upload them at one time and then hit continue here.
And then as Lindsay does that, I'll just point out on the right side of the screen, you saw some tips, and we've kind of been skipping over for the sake of time as we're running through time quickly here. But we do try to build in as many tips and just information as possible as you're going through and you're navigating these pages.
Oh, sorry, I didn't just jeez. So great. Now I just have some quick copy and paste that I'll do here. But one thing I wanted to touch on is this part here, the project or the photo title is incredibly important to how your images will be found here on Mortar. I've actually put in here already company name. So starting with your company name, the name of this project, and then a description of the photo that you're looking at. So this is, you know, very clearly a little hallway that then goes into a private office. So anything you can use to describe this photo, we recommend putting in the image title. You know, Sadie, I'm sure you can expand on that too, but.
Yep, definitely a great point. We always, you know, this is, again, something that Lindsay's great at because our CSM team does this day in and day out for our premium and our enterprise subscribers, as we're the ones who really fill in the majority of this content on behalf of our subscribers. But this is a very powerful SEO opportunity for you as well. And so we always say, like what we tell our team internally, and I would give the same advice to our basic subscribers who are doing this work on their own, is think of how you would want how you would describe that image to somebody who can't yet see it. So that's how a search engine needs to find it. So if you're looking really specifically for a hotel lobby with modern furniture, type that, you know, to be descriptive within that. That photo image does not actually show, or that, excuse me, that photo title does not actually come up in your project. Just the project title does. So we'll go ahead and show you what that looks like when it's completed.
Yeah, so thank you for all that. And I did very quickly, just while Sadie was talking, fill in all these details. This first drop down is the space in which you're looking. The second one is the products in which you can see. And even though you may have only provided one service or one product to this image, you actually want to select everything that you see within this, just so it's more likely to be found here on Mortar, and you get that traction, the views, the impressions here on your project and your image.
Right, and that's a great point. You know, Mortar serves as an inspiration gallery for many of our users. So if they're looking for ideas, again, like Lindsay said, even if you didn't provide that flooring, or you don't, you know, that isn't your company's light fixture, if you're calling those items out, it grabs the attention of the user, calls them to your work, and it just shows them the style and the type of work that you do. So.
And then here in this section, these keywords, we say put anything in here that you haven't already described in these open text fields. So anything specific, maybe an industry term that you hear frequently amongst your clients or even your competitors, you can go ahead and put this in here, because anybody that were to come on Mortar and search office decor ideas, this image will show up for them as an option for them to look at and to consider. So, and really quickly, I'm going to go ahead and tag just some of the products that we see on here so that you can see, we already tagged the pros, the partners that you worked with on this, but now we can actually describe what products you see within in this photo.
So Lindsay's doing this simply by clicking right on the product within the image. And then just like with the pros, you can tag brands or manufacturers who are on the site, but you also can tag brands and products that are not yet on the site. So this full list of information that Lindsay's filling out here, she's naming the product. You have an opportunity to put a description, and if you know a description of that particular product. And then there are some links, so you can link directly to specifications. We have a partnership with Material Bank. If your company works with Material Bank by providing samples to the designer audience, and then of course to BIM Object, where you can actually store technical information or technical files about your particular product. So all of these options live right within this brand tag that she just clicked into right from the image here.
And then you never have to worry about putting something in incorrectly. As you can see, I was just quickly typing in a link to put in here, and I hit save tag and it told me that it was incorrect. So never worry about providing wrong information. Mortar tries to be very intuitive and user friendly, and that's one of the features that we purposely put in here just to make sure, you know, these tags are correct. So I'm going to go ahead and hit done. Just so we can kind of, you know, speed through this a little bit. I wish I would have made this webinar a little bit longer. We're running out of time already. So, but I want to just show you what this looks like to a viewer, because we are in that edit mode right now. And with that, we're able to see and add in more detail than what the regular viewer would be able to see themselves. So this is what you're able to see: the project name, the location, just a quick description, you know, like I said, you can put links to, and then also here the pros that we tagged. So the architect, the general contractor, you can even see ABC Engineering, who doesn't yet have a profile here on Mortar. And we even give you the option to easily connect with them and send them a quick, hey, check it out, we tagged you on Mortar. That's kind of the quick email that gets sent to them. And then the brands, we were only able to tag one, but we tagged Acuity Brands. They provided the lighting for this project. And because they have a profile here on Mortar, you can very easily hover, view their profile, send them a quick message, whatever that might be. So,
and I would just point out that that hover state that when you were over that Acuity name that allowed you to go right to their profile, that shows up from the viewer's end as well. So like Lindsay said, we're on the edit mode, but there's the power of tagging, cross-tagging within Mortar. So any of the partners you're working with, there is an option for you to actually tag yourself on their projects, which that's a great subject. If you take advantage of that 15-minute consultation, we can definitely talk with you and show you how to do that. So invite your company or your products to be tagged on other projects that are found on Mortar. And all of that just helps with everybody's visibility. We want to be able to bring you an audience that you might not be already attracting or already finding with your own website and your own other tools. So
great. And I'm going to stop.
Powerful.
Yeah, I'm going to stop sharing my screen. Sadie, if you want to start your video.
Great. Yeah, and if anybody has any questions at this time, Lindsay and I are happy to answer any questions. I don't see any that have come in. I know, again, I know that we've run through a lot of our time. So thanks to everybody for hanging on. It was a lot of content really fast. But one thing I do want to touch on, for those of you who are still with us, one thing that our CSM team can also help you with, and we can provide the link in our follow-up message, is we do have a social icon for Mortar that you can place on your website. So if you have a company profile in Mortar, whether it's a basic, premium, whatever it is, you want to make sure that you are linking to it from your own website. That really ties all of those SEO efforts together. And since you have very similar content between your Mortar profile, your own website, that's extremely powerful for you. So we have a link that lives right on our Learning Lounge that gives you multiple style options for that logo or that icon. And then you just want to make sure you're using the direct URL that is right on your own company's profile. So that's something Lindsay or our CSM team can assist with if needed. So just our contact information's up on the screen here. So please feel free to reach out.
Yeah, definitely. And I know that we're already over 1 minute. So if you feel like you need to leave and drop off, please do. Remember, this will be sent as a recording to you afterwards so you can look at it or request that 15-minute consultation. But I just wanted to say quickly too, just one of the takeaways from really this profile that we built is we always want to know, what about visibility on the platform? I've joined this platform. How do I optimize that? How do I do that? And it truly is one of the takeaways is that tagging capability. We push this a lot with our paid subscribers as a customer success manager. We really emphasize the importance of tagging those partners that you work with because that is searchable on Mortar. So especially if you've done a project with a huge architecture firm, tag that on here because it's likely that someone may come to Mortar searching that company and all of your images will populate for them. And just one other takeaway too that I always want to emphasize is the title of your image. And I say this because even with your own website, you upload photos and maybe it's pick 1, pick 2, outside 3, whatever that might be. It's really not beneficial even for your own website or for Mortar to label a photo that way, because how does Google know how to place that within their searches? This is just pick 1. Do you know how many images out there are labeled picture 1? So I always want to touch on the importance of titling your photos for what it is that you're looking at. Be very beneficial. So
absolutely, yeah. So I'd encourage anybody who's interested, reach out to Lindsay, respond to the email that you get with the recording, and let us know if you're interested in one of those 15-minute consultations.
Yeah, and even if I know we have some returning webinar viewers right now, so even if you've already scheduled a 15-minute consultation, please schedule another one. We love what we do. We love Mortar, and we'd love to help you and just make sure that you're being found for what you want to be found for, and that we get your views and impressions, skyrocketing. So
awesome.
Yeah. So all right, thank you so much, everybody. We appreciate you joining. Recording will be sent your way, and then look out for our next webinar in 2 weeks. So thank you.
Bye.